We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Vitalik Buterin getting his X account hacked, and I'm also going to be giving you some channel updates. Have some very exciting things to tease. Very, very excited about where things are going today. I'm going to be streaming from my house once again. I was planning on going into office today, but as many of you guys probably know, today is 9/11. It's September 11th, 2023. And about 22 years ago, the attacks happened on the World Trade Center and on the Pentagon, and nearly on the White House. And as you know, that was one of the worst days in the history of the United States of America. And I did not realize, I'll be honest, that Monday was 9/11. And when we realized it, my wife actually lost some family in 9/11. And so I decided I'm going to be here today to support her. So apologies if you don't like the background or the audio. So it'll be the last day that we don't have the audio set up, because today we are going to finally put a cap on this whole bedbug nightmare, and I'm going to be able to get my audio back, because if you don't know, I have a travel bag where I'm able to record the stream anywhere in the country with professional grade camera and audio. It's in the car. So doing the best we can. We've also got some interesting things to tease about the future of the channel that I think you guys are going to really, really like later on in the stream. But we're going to jump straight on into the content, because that's what you guys are here for. I cannot tell you enough how excited I am, and some of you OG fans of the Crypto Jeb channel, some of you guys have been here for over 4 years, before we got the company going and got our office space and all that. You guys gonna be pretty excited about some of the things to come. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on with the stream here. Again, thank you for your patience with the lower production value. Again, we're dealing with a bit of a mess that we have to take care of. That'll be solved today. We finally came up with a solution that'll work. So we'll be back in studio tomorrow, and I will have my professional grade equipment back for if I'm doing something at home. All right. Philly Skills 1428 said, "Morning, Jeb. What up?" Grand Roofing Incorporated said, "Good morning, everyone." This guy named Crypto Jeeb said, "Good morning, everyone." Satchet 321 said, "Hello from the UK." Joe Bollier's in chat. Dave P in chat. James Sachs in chat. John Stoley 1 in chat. Dan Nolan Christopher Satchet is in chat. Said, "Crypto market come out of hibernation anytime soon?" Great question. That's what we're going to be talking about relatively soon. Mike Lowry said, "Good morning from the Cavalcanti search scene in my neighborhood. Might not stuck around the whole stream today. Send prayers he's caught soon." Oh gosh, somebody's being wow. Okay, well, Mike Lowry, you'll have to give us some more details on that. Jeez. Cryptopher said, "Can you tell me something right now? I can tell you right now that Bitcoin is looking for a great 2024, and 2023 is going to be a great setup. And if you're in position to take advantage of the setups you're getting this year, you are going to be so glad that you did next year." Man, so excited. Mike Lowry, you said you've been here for 4 years. I do remember that. You have been here for a very long time. And I know you guys are going to like some of the things that we're coming out with soon. Okay. Yeah, we didn't really get to see the usage of those expensive camera equipment. Yeah, you're right. You really didn't, Philly Skills. We've got a plan to fix that as well. Yeah, an escaped convict up here in Philadelphia. Jeez. Wow. Yeah. Cool. Bitcoin at 25.4 right now. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's go ahead and jump straight on into the content. Start over here on CoinMarketCap. As you guys know, Bitcoin is trading at $25,500, down about 0.73% in the last hour, down 1% in the last 24 hours, down about 1.5% in the last 7 days, dipping below $500 billion market capitalization. You guys got to realize there's several major levels of support in the zone right there around $25,000 that we need to discuss. First and foremost, you have the $500 billion market capitalization level that's sitting right around 25.6. You've also got 25.236, which is a level that comes into play right here. If I show you on the chart, 25.236 is a level that was set as resistance back here in late February. Also found a support roughly here in mid-June, and Bitcoin falling back down to that level is very significant, because it is the top of a major level, major zone of support between 25.236 and $25,000. With Bitcoin coming down here and testing that level, there's going to be quite a lot of pressure on that level right now. Bitcoin is also, as you guys know, under a strong sell signal from Lux Algo. That strong sell signal turned into a buy signal briefly, but turned right back into a sell signal, and the trend catcher has dropped over the weekend all the way down here to 26.3. It's a bit of a double-edged sword because we're seeing that Bitcoin is very possibly going to see a rally, and we could see a rally up above 26.3, bringing a very easy buy signal coming in from Lux Algo, but we've not seen that happen yet, and if we don't see that happen relatively soon, then Bitcoin is more than likely going to end up dipping below this zone of support between $25,000 and $25,236, and that's something that obviously we would prefer to not see. Okay, so we kind of back up and also talk about some of the things that are going on this week. This is the main thing that I want to talk about today. We're going to talk about a little bit of the news with Vitalik, and then we're also, of course, going to talk about the CPI data coming out this week. I have a chart to show you, and I think you're going to appreciate that. Now, to get started, Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum, one of the biggest names in cryptocurrency, his X account got hacked. If you're not familiar, X is now Twitter. Was Twitter, now X. And Vitalik Buterin ended up getting hacked, as we said. And let's just go ahead and look at his account. You can see it right over here. Right here. He ended up getting hacked. So, yeah. The reason that that's significant to you is because Vitalik Buterin's account had money in it and had wallets in it. Following the breach of Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin's X account, victims allegedly suffered losses exceeding $691,000 due to a malicious link falsely promoting a free NFT. Very sad. Very sad. Very, 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 very sad. So it wasn't just that Vitalik Buterin got hacked. It was also that a lot of people sent money to an account that was used in that hack to generate funds for the hacker. Disregarding the post, apparently Vitalik Buterin has been hacked. He's working on restoring access. Very sad event, but it does just go to show you a couple of things. First and foremost, you can't really trust anything in cryptocurrency that's saying that you're going to get something for free unless you see the dude's face saying it. And to be honest with you, there is a bit of a concern about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence being able to create faces out of thin air. If you guys have never seen, there's an artificial intelligence that made a Drake song, and it sounded more like Drake than Drake because it sounded like Drake was singing perfectly and not with autotune, because Drake sings and there's autotune on there. Most musicians use that nowadays, but this AI actually created a song in Drake's exact voice, and people voted it as sounding more like Drake than Drake did. And Drake, I think, ended up suing them. They did the same thing to Kanye. And so you do have to be kind of careful with that. Just something interesting that I thought I'd throw out there. But nevertheless, the point is, if anybody ever asks for your private keys, if anyone ever asks for you to give them access to a wallet or certain passwords, especially if they're saying they're giving you something for free for that, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Be as particular about your private keys and about access to your wallets as you are about giving out your social security number. You need to be so very careful, because hacks are always occurring. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the impacts that this has had on Ethereum. As you guys know, Ethereum has undergone a drop. And this is unfortunate because this is one of those things that's kind of broken trust in some of the Ethereum community as to what can happen. And it does show some of the centralized links in the chain for Ethereum having a founder, a co-founder, a father, whatever you want to call it, that is a public figure. This kind of stuff is one of the reasons that Satoshi Nakamoto likely decided to remain anonymous. That, and also because he knew that he'd probably be assassinated by the CIA because the United States dollar is put under such threat from Bitcoin. By the way, we are witnessing a drop on Bitcoin live, so we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Let's go ahead and pause what we were talking about on Ethereum. Look over at Bitcoin. As you guys can see, Bitcoin is currently dropping down to $25,260. This is very significant because our level of support between $25,000 and $25,236 is a zone of support that we need to hold. If not, we're likely going to be dropping down to holding. We're likely going to be dropping down to filling in the CME futures gap very, very quickly. Give me 1 second. Live drop, just so that people know that we're live on this. There is a bit of a drop on Bitcoin. I'm going to update the title actually so that people can see that. But right now, Bitcoin is sitting above the zone between $20,000 and $25,236. That level, that zone is so important because if we do not manage to hold above that zone, then that is going to lead to Bitcoin going through a drop probably significantly lower. Again, that's between 25,000 and 25,236. If we do not manage to hold that level, the next level that we expect to go to would potentially be as low as the Bitcoin CME futures gap. And to be quite frank with you, I do believe at this point, and if you're just tuning in, I do apologize for the audio. We're going to have that fixed tomorrow. We do have normally record on a Shure SM7B. It's the same microphone Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on. We've tested this level of support over and over and over again. This is the 5th time that we've tested this. The 5th time that Bitcoin has come down and tested this, and as you can see, I have this kind of line of best fit coming straight through this trend line, trend right here on Bitcoin, and it just shows you that we have this general downtrend. Bitcoin collapsed below its uptrending level of support. We fell down originally to 25,236. We've been talking about that level for 6 months here on the channel, so you shouldn't be surprised if you were a viewer of Crypto Jeb that level came into play. That's exactly where we bottomed out. We saw a bit of a rally when Grayscale won their case, and the court of the District of Columbia deemed that Grayscale, that the SEC was going to have to review the ETF application again, and that in their opinion it was, quote, unreasonable for the SEC to deny Grayscale that ETF application, especially considering they had already approved another ETP, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which by the way is doing very well. Bitcoin attempted a rally from there, was not able to do it, and Bitcoin has continued in a very, very slight downtrend ever since, about maybe a 6 to 7 degree downtrend depending on how exactly you view it. And so that has not given a lot of confidence to the bulls. Instead, the bulls have had a very hard time breaking us anywhere above $26,000. Anytime we start pushing towards 26 or above, we end up capitulating. And that's what we just saw Bitcoin do just a few minutes ago. This level that I drew to show you the general trend also happens to be a level of support and resistance. This is not just a random level. This is actually a trend line that is pertinent to the chart. And if you look down on the minute chart, we were holding support on there and we just flash crashed below it. We were sitting, right when we went live here, up at $25,600. We've already dropped quite substantially. And I don't know about you, this may only be the minute chart. It might be something that we're going to need to pay close attention to, but this looks exceptionally bearish to me. This looks like a very strong test of 25,236, and it looks like a test that if it doesn't end up breaking through today, will end up breaking through at some point relatively soon. And I think I know what that point may be. So again, I do apologize for the poor audio quality. We do have a much better standard that we normally run, much better video standard we normally run as well. We're running into a couple of issues with that equipment, but that equipment will be back online for tomorrow. All right, so what is that potential catalyst that we're going to need that could cause Bitcoin to drop even farther? Let's talk about that, because it is one that I think we need to be very, very careful of. It's the CPI. We're going to talk about that in between looking at the chart because Bitcoin's moving very quickly. I'm going to keep the price up where I can see it. And if I need to pause to go and look at it, then I will do just that. All right. Let's go ahead and look at this screen right here. I need to make sure I have it up. There we go, because I have my other chart up. As you guys know, the consumer price index right here is very significant. If you aren't familiar with the CPI, CPI is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, a government agency's review of the price of goods and services in the United States, and it shows the inflation of the United States dollar, otherwise known as the decline in the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar. It's a very, very important chart, very important data. It comes out once a month. Next data is coming out in 2 days on September the 13th, on a Wednesday. When that data comes out, it's going to give us very important information about the state of the United States economy, and I am quite confident at this point that we are going to see a substantial increase on CPI. One of the things that has led to so many rallies on Bitcoin over the last 6 months or so have been drops on CPI. Some of the biggest rallies that you have seen have coincided perfectly with CPI data releases. The CPI data releases every Wednesday. So Wednesday, January the 11th was a release. You can see the rally that ensued. Wednesday, March 15th, I think, was a day that data released. You can see the rally that ensued. Wednesday, 15th of March, I believe, that was a day that it ensued. It always comes out on a Wednesday. See right here, the 12th of April, data came out. You see a major rally, or at least some kind of major movement, whenever the CPI data releases. You didn't see one that month. But then even here, we saw CPI data release came out right there. A couple days later, Bitcoin went through a major rally. So you can see my point here. When CPI data comes out, it has a major impact on the market. Normally, it's a bullish impact on the market, but it's been a bullish impact on the market because it's been a drop on CPI. CPI going down has been the thing that has led the market to go up. There's an inverse correlation. CPI goes down, Bitcoin goes up. CPI goes up. Therefore, we would have the concern that Bitcoin may go down. The last time that we saw CPI data release was right here. And we saw CPI data go up. We saw the CPI increase. The next day we saw a major correction. I'm here to tell you that today we are more than likely facing a major capitulation because of CPI coming out this week. And this is the main thing that I want to talk about over the course of this week, is this CPI data related drop. You guys have probably heard my thesis on this before, but I'll go ahead and run through it one more time. Energy is at negative 12.5%. That's what's causing all items to drop. You have all items less food and energy at 4.7%. It's been much more sticky. It's been moving from about 6 down to 4.7%, while all items dropped from like 9.6 down to 3. All items moved much quicker because food and energy got under control significantly faster than the rest of the categories in all items less food and energy. If you hit read more right here, it'll show you the table just by coming down here, hit show table. See, these are all the categories down here in all items. Some of them, like motor vehicle insurance, are significantly higher than they were, leading to that significant inflation. You can also see here that fuel oil, gasoline of all types, and natural gas piped are at major deflationary points. Here's the problem. The reason that CPI went down so much was because energy was sitting in double-digit negatives. That ends in the next 45 days, the next 2 months. It's over, and I can prove it. This chart right here is put out by the EIA, the Energy Information Administration, for the United States, and it shows the average price of gasoline in the United States over the last 30 years, and it shows it by month. You can see post-pandemic, we saw gasoline jump from $1.98 on national average in April of 2020 all the way to over $5 in June of 2022. CPI is a rolling data set. So when it's July, you're looking at June to June's data. When you're looking at August, you're looking at July to July's data. That's the most recent data we have, is July to July. July to July's data, which is what we're seeing right here when we look at, for example, just looking at gasoline. All of these are running in tandem, though. Fuel oil, gasoline, natural gas are all running together because it's two products that are very closely related. You've got natural gas and you've got petroleum. Those two are the link in the chain that create all of the other petrochemical products that are involved in energy, more or less. Coal is in there, but it's just not as significant. And by the way, coal is actually already inflationary, so we don't need to worry about that. That's what a lot of the electricity component is coming from. Again, we're looking here on gasoline at July to July's data because this was posted in August. So we're looking at July to July's data, and it shows up here. If you look at July of 2022, gas was sitting at $4.68. You look at the next July, and it was sitting at $3.72. That's wonderful. That's a 20% drop, as you can see in the data. 4.6 down to 3.7. That's a drop. The problem comes when you start to invert this, because in 2 days, we're going to be reporting August to August. August of 2022, we were looking at $4 a gallon. August of 2023, we were looking at $3.95 a gallon. So in 2 days, when the data drops, gasoline is going to go from negative 20% to negative 2%. Same thing's going to happen with fuel oil because, again, fuel oil and gasoline are both derived from the same natural resource, that being petroleum, so they both are going to naturally run very closely in tandem. Natural gas is going to be a little bit different because it's a fundamentally different chemical, but both of those industries move very, very closely, the natural gas and the petrochemical industries. Both of them move very closely. Fuel oil and gasoline, both of those are derived from the same base product, that being petroleum, so they're going to move exceptionally in tandem. On Wednesday, you are going to see, and you're probably not hearing anybody else saying this, but you being a CryptoJeb viewer will see this coming. Gasoline is going to go from negative 20% to negative 2 or 3% on Wednesday, and fuel oil is probably going to be sitting at negative 5%. What does that do to this category when those two categories, those two subcategories being at negative 20 and negative 26% are the only reason and natural gas being a negative 13%, are the only main reasons that energy is a negative 12.5%. Well, what you naturally see happen is that energy jumps up to negative 2 or negative 3%. And since that's the only reason that CPI is sitting at 3.2 instead of 4.7, because food is sitting at 4.9, so that's actually dragging up this number, that causes major categories to jump up to like 3.7 or 3.8. My point. You're going to see a major... Oop, I just closed the live stream. Look at that. You're going to see a major increase. I hope you guys are still here. I'm sorry about that. You're going to see a major increase, drop on Bitcoin. Just get the stream back up here. Goodness, I closed the stream. Okay, well, that's good to know. I literally accidentally closed the tab that the stream was on, and it ended up fixing itself. All right, so again, the point is, you're going to see a major jump on CPI, and when you see that major jump on CPI, based on what we saw last week, last month, that's likely going to lead to a major drop on Bitcoin. I'd love to hear your opinions on my thesis on that, but the data is there. The data is in. That's what's going to happen, and it only gets worse. In 3 to 4 months, energy is going to be the category that is causing the inflation. And the reason I know that is because if you look at January of 2023, gasoline was sitting at $3.44. By August, it's sitting at $3.95. You run some simple math, or in December, it's sitting at $3.33. You run some simple math in 8 months. That is 22% inflation on gasoline. So when we get to December and we're looking at November to November's data, and we're looking at $3.80, jumping up to $4.10, probably $4.20 at that point, you're looking at 10% inflation. When you get to January of next year, and you're looking at December to December's data, and you're going from $3.33 in December to $4.33 probably this December, you're looking at 25% inflation here. And instead of this being negative 25%, it's positive 25%, and it drives inflation back to 5, if not 6. And what happens from there? You continue to see someone asked why am I not in studio? I will tell you. Apologies for the audio. The reason you end up seeing a massive rally, massive increase on CPI right around the time that the halving's coming in. That's bearish for Bitcoin, but it gives you a great setup. All right, apologies. Somebody asked me why I'm not in studio. Not in studio today. As I said, my wife, she lost some people during September 11th. I decided to be here for today. And as far as the audio, like I said, I do have a backup Shure SM7B. It is I'll just say unreachable right now. I do apologize for that. It will not happen again. I will make sure that that's fixed for today. Like I said, we went on a vacation, and studio not required. Sure, I know the background doesn't matter. The audio, though, that is important. I can't hear it myself because I don't have my headphones in, because I don't have my microphone set up with me right now. But I do imagine it's probably not the most pleasant, so that won't happen again. As far as not in studio, like I said, we will be in studio tomorrow. Last time Jeb worked in the studio, Ben was still BitBoy, lol. Yep, we're going back in tomorrow. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, we were running from a hurricane, then we were on vacation, then, the hotel, our nice, fancy, cushy hotel with comfortable beds gave us bed bugs, and so now we have to deal with all that nonsense. Oh, boy. Absolute mess. Last time I was in studio, Jeb... There we go. That's funny. I miss it. I'm looking forward to being back there. All right. So, anyway, as I said, gasoline's heading on up. And that's going to cause a problem, because when you see gasoline going from $3.33 up to $4.43, and there's 20% inflation there, that's going to lead to a major rally on CPI. And so why is that significant? What does that have to do with Bitcoin's price action today? Well, the point that has for Bitcoin is that this drop that we're witnessing right here, and you may have clicked on this video because we talked about a live drop. Bitcoin was dropping right when we started this stream, and it may continue to do so. The reason that CPI is important, and the reason that I talk about economic indicators like that quite frequently, is because they have a real impact on the market, especially CPI. And so with the cryptocurrency community, in my opinion, being largely blindsided by this coming on Wednesday, that CPI is going to jump like 0.5% and they're not going to have a clue why, that freaks people out. That scares people. And all the people that are getting into Bitcoin casually right now get scared because, oh no, CPI is going back up. I need to put my money in something quote unquote stable. I need to put my money in the market. And I am not against, and I've never been against, investing in the stock market. And that's a great idea, and the stock market is performing well. But jumping out of Bitcoin in a time where inflation is the issue is a little bit unwise, in my opinion. And I think the people will eventually see that. So here's what I think plays out. I'm watching the chart right now. If the market jumps, then we shall, or if it drops, then we'll go ahead and look over there again. We're going to see a major increase on CPI as a result of the gasoline side of things. From there, we're going to see a drop on Bitcoin because, and all of these things are, you should assume that I'm saying most likely this is what's going to happen. I can't guarantee anything. We obviously don't have a time machine or a fancy hot tub that can take us into the future, and we can bring back information that we can trade off of. The best we have is technical and fundamental and on-chain analysis and economic analysis. So the increase on CPI is going to lead to a drop on Bitcoin. We have one data point on that. We had a 0.2% increase in CPI. Everybody lost their crap because, oh no, I thought we were going down to 2%. What's going on? Because if and here's the reason that it matters to people. If inflation is going back up, that means the Fed is going to be more hawkish on rates, and that's why people actually care. It's not so much that inflation is going up that causes people to jump out of Bitcoin. It's the fact that inflation going up means the Fed is going to be more hawkish on rates, which they're probably definitely going to, they're definitely going to be seeing this data come out. They're probably sitting there saying the same thing I am. Oh, wait a minute, gasoline's going up. That's going to cause that number to go up. We got to wait till our friends over the BLS bring us that data. But oh no, we're going to have to raise interest rates again to get that under control, slow down economic growth, and stabilize it. That will lead to a drop on Bitcoin, mainly because people are worried that the increase in the CPI will lead to the Fed being more hawkish, which will make debt more expensive, which will make running the economy more difficult, which will make your stocks not profit as much, which means that you have less room to be risky in a risky investment such as Bitcoin. That's the train of thought that people go down when they that's the train of thought that people go down when they're looking at inflation going up. Inflation goes up, so therefore the Fed is more hawkish on rates. And when the Fed is more hawkish on rates, that leads to debt becoming more expensive, which leads to the stock market growing slower, which leads to the market, their baseline, not performing as well or even losing money, which means they want to take money out of risk-on assets like Bitcoin. They're not seeing it as inflation goes up, so I should hedge my money in the dollar. They're seeing it as inflation goes up, so therefore the Fed's going to do this, which will impact the debt, and the debt changing will the cost of debt will impact the market, and the market will impact whether or not I'm willing to invest in a risk-on asset. And so if you see inflation jump by 0.5% or 0.3%, like I think it's going to on Wednesday, we've been pretty much spot on most of our predictions about what CPI was going to do over the last 6-8 months that we've been following it. But when CPI jumps, not if, but when, it's almost a guarantee at this point because no other data point's moving as much as gasoline is this month. When gasoline and other fuel types do what we're talking about doing, and it goes from -19 to -2, and then the month after in October it flips and goes positive to inflation rather than deflation, that's going to cause a drop on Bitcoin. Well, guess what? Bitcoin is sitting right now above the $25,000 to $25,236 zone. That level gets breached this week. I'm giving like an 80% likelihood that that happens. This week, because of CPI, almost certainly we're breaking that. And if we don't do it this week, we're doing it in the next couple of weeks. Again, this is a more than likely scenario. So what do we do with that? Well, we look at trades. Because that's what we do. We're traders. We look at ways that we can capitalize off of this. If Bitcoin drops here below $25,000, kind of the floor is falling out from under it. So you have the ability to set up a pretty big short trade. I would use VRVP here. Probably put an entry. Again, these are just kind of dummy numbers. These are just example numbers. You'd probably want to put an entry somewhere right here around $24,800 or so, just to kind of make sure that you've broken through this. Even $24,900 is fine. You're going to want your stop somewhere in that zone, and then your exit. Look, you have VRVP support coming in right here at 23,000. 23,000, pretty strong level of support. Go ahead and put a level right there at 23K. It's also a level here at 22,808. Actually, I'd go ahead and put it at 22,808 because that's the level that we talk about. So 22,808, that's a level that we set as a local high. We've talked about that level 1,000 times on the channel about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. And a couple of things happen with that level. First and foremost, it's an important level. Second and second most, if we drop below that level, then you're starting to look at year-over-year, 1 year sideways action on Bitcoin. It means that we're trading at the same level we were trading at a year ago, and that's not very bullish. So that probably ends up dropping us down to the CME futures gap. So you end up putting another short trade right down here. Hopefully you can see that. Let me go ahead and zoom in and get that set up for you here. Sorry, there we go. Let's put that one right back there and then drop this entry down. And then we have our exit right down here. Again, these are kind of dummy numbers, but the point is you probably end up filling the gap. You could drop all the way down to $20,000 like this. And to be honest with you guys, I would not be at all surprised if that's what happened. Again, an entry probably somewhere right around 24.8 to 24.9. I'm not going to give you exact numbers because I want you to use the methodology, but not exactly the exact numbers. I'm going to take VRVP off here. And then we take a pit stop at 22,808. Can we hold? Maybe not. Can we? Maybe. We'll see. If not, we drop all the way down to $20,000 and fill the Bitcoin CME futures gap. CME futures gaps are normally filled. They are normally filled, so keep that in mind. There is a CME futures gap down here at 20,380 down to 21,020. So that's probably what's going to take place. It's probably going to drop us down there. So those are our short trades, and they'll make you a lot of money if you use the principles of trading that we teach. Again, those principles of trading are as follows. They are thus. In short, when you see a drop on Bitcoin or a rally on Bitcoin, I recommend using a 0.1% trailing stop loss or a stop loss that is 10% of the actual profit amount. So again, if you go from, let's use simple numbers, from 20,000 to 30,000, that's a 50% increase, right? So use at most a 5% trailing stop loss, but get to a 5% trailing stop loss when you're at the end of that movement. Start off with a 0.1% trailing stop loss or smaller, whichever one's smaller. I'm going to write all this down and make a course for you on this stuff, guys. It's going to help a lot. And then when you have that trailing stop loss, you just use it, and that's how you exit. You don't always make it to the end of the trade. If you do, great, but if not, then you use the trailing stop loss, and that's how you make some money. Very simple. Very simple. Those are the short trades. Long trade, honestly, guys, I'm not even that interested in giving you a long trade because there's not a very good one to set up here. I would not even worry about a long trade until we got above this downtrending level of resistance or we see a buy signal coming in from Lux Algo. Normally, we would give you a counter trade, long trade, but unless we get above, and I would just go ahead and show you, unless we get above this downtrend right here, that's where I'd be looking for a swing trade. If you're looking down on the hourly chart, sure, guys, of course, you could go ahead and put a level right here and say, all right, Bitcoin breaks above this, $26,000, then I'm going to trade that. There's absolutely a trade here for breaking above 26K. You could have easily said, look, 26K is very important support. You could have used our principles of trading, set yourself up without the benefit of hindsight. So let's just go ahead and go here on the replay tool. Set yourself up a level of support right here. Again, I'll just do technical analysis as if I don't know what's about to happen on the market. Set up an entry right here. Stop loss, who knows? Let's see, not stop loss, an exit. Let's see, maybe right here. Put yourself an exit. There you go. Boom, there's a trade using our principles of technical analysis. Move it forward. Look at that. Made some money. Great. Wait a minute, Jeb. It didn't get all the way to the profit. Doesn't matter. Again, you use a trailing stop loss. That's how you take your profit. You would have gotten the profit in the first hourly candlestick. You would have rallied. Goes down 0.1%. Boom. Look at that. You exit out right there. Entered right here. Somewhere in there. You made 1%. Great. That trade makes you 1%. Easy. Okay, so if you want to set up a little trade down there, you can. And honestly, those are the trades you're normally going to be doing. I'm talking about big swing trades. If you're doing little hourly trades, you can make a lot of money trading this volatility in here. That being said, if you're looking to trade the short or the long on the swing, as far as on the big time frames, that's how you do it. And more than likely, the next swing movement that we're going to see, much more than likely, is going to be a drop to the downside. Reppin' the 914 in chat said, keep up the energy, brother. We appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. Bison9 said, the BitBoy saga got me watching your stuff and looking for an actual Christian guy to listen to in this space. Well, thank you, Bison. I appreciate you tuning in. Welcome to the stream. I've been in cryptocurrency for over 6 years now, making content in cryptocurrency for almost 6 years now. We started this channel on November 16th, 2017. It'll be turning 6 years old relatively soon, and we've got a lot more in us. We are currently working on a lot of things in the background that you guys are going to be seeing coming in the next month or so. We've kind of nailed down some plans, even as recently as this morning, that you guys are going to see happening. And not going to do an announcement on what I'm talking about for a little while, but I will just go ahead and give you a teaser. I've got to go and write a couple of, not got to, I get to. Not got to, that almost sounds like I don't want to. It's something I get to do. I get to go write a couple of very large checks today. I'm very excited for where those checks are going, and you guys are going to see it in the next 2 months. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a change. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. And you guys are going to love it. You guys are going to love it. You might be skeptical at first. You might think, Jeb, you're crazy at first. But you're going to love it in the end. I know you are. I know you are. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Freedom Advocate in chat said, good morning. I hope you are all doing well. Freedom Advocate, I've got to ask where your name comes from, and I've also got to ask if it has something to do with the Book of Romans. Got to ask. Could be wrong. I think you've told me that before. Good to see you. No need to apologize. My guy, life happens. Yeah, but I've got a plan for making that go a little smoother when life does happen, because it does happen, and you guys got to make sure you have sustainability. Remember, guys, you know, it's funny. That video I made on financial sovereignty, the principles the millionaire's master, it has really been just absolutely ringing in my head a lot of the different things that I said in that video. And a couple of the things I said was about consistency. I thought a lot about ways that we can be more consistent, because that is a way that you become successful. And I've also thought a lot about sustainability. Those are two core values of ours that I decided we're going to live. And I've found a solution to helping with both of those in a way that I think you guys are going to find to be very interesting. It's also going to be a large money-making opportunity too. Good morning, Jeb. I'm excited for your announcement. Yep. Again, not sure exactly when or how, but I know it's not an if that announcement comes. Because again, writing some checks today. And they're big checks. They're very big checks. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. Man, I haven't written either one of the... There's two of them. I haven't written a check that as large as either one of those in a long time. So it's pretty cool. Pretty excited. I've spent that much money, but not in one check. Pretty exciting. And it's not so much, it's not about the money, but it's excited what it's going towards. And it's going to be great for you guys. It's going to be great for our family. It's going to be great for our ministry. It's going to be great for consistency and sustainability. It's just going to solve so many problems all at once. And it's the kind of solution that I want to help you guys come up with in your lives. And I'm very pumped. Very pumped. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left. Let's go ahead and talk to chat. As I said, appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And Bison, thank you for checking in, and hopefully you'll stay. Appreciate you being here, and look forward to getting to know you guys some more, especially Bison. Welcome. And also, guys, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By the way, if you have not done this, I just want to show you something. I have a tweet on this. Lux Algo is one of the affiliates here on the channel, and I use Lux Algo every single day in my trading. And it's so, so powerful. I posted on Twitter a while back. I'll show you. Posted on Twitter a while back just how profitable it is to sign up for Lux Algo using our coupon code and the yearly sign up. Sign up for Lux Algo with the yearly subscription and coupon code JEB30 and save $472.89. The 12 months of $67.99, which is what it normally is, equals $815.88. If you go with the annual plan, you get 30%. I think it's 30 or 40% off. I think it's 40% off. That will save you $342.99. Then use coupon code JEB30. That will bring you up to $472.89 worth of savings. Have it right here. Brings the total price for the yearly plan down to $342.99 from $815. You're saving like 60% if you go and get the yearly package and use our coupon code JEB30. It brings the monthly cost down to about $28 instead of $68. So by doing that, you're going to save yourself $40 a month, and you're going to love that technical indicator. It's very, very, very good. Crypto Surge said, good morning, Jim. I'm excited for your announcement. Lamborghini incoming. Just kidding. I know better than that. Cool. I'm a Ferrari guy myself. Well, it might have wheels. Oh, we'll see. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'll tell you right now. It's a big enough check. It could have been a Lamborghini. I'll tell you that, but it's not a Lamborghini. That's cool to say. It is a big enough check. It could have been a Lambo, but it's not a Lambo. It's not a Lambo. Could have been a Lambo, not a Lambo. Something a lot cooler than a Lambo, in my opinion. I think Lambos are cool. A Lamborghini is something that I'd probably rent, and then instead of putting $250,000 into it, I'd put $250,000 into Bitcoin, or into the stock market, or into real estate, or just about anything else. Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, Philippe Caspian said, greetings from Macedonia. I've got to ask, since you're from Macedonia, is it Macedonia or is it Macedonia? I'm sure you know. Is it Mac, as if there's a missing K there, or is it Macedonia, like Mace? Love to hear that from you, because people are always so, people want to be all cool and say Macedon. Like, is it Macedon or is it Macedon? I don't know. I think it's Macedon, but I think it's kind of an apple. tomato thing. All right, let's look at the chart real quick before we wrap it out, guys, because Bitcoin is currently moving, as you guys know, 25,236, hugely important level of support. Going to turn on my horse race announcer voice because Bitcoin has just set a new yearly low. We might go a few minutes over because of this. You see Bitcoin has dropped all the way down to $25,200. That is, again, I just want to stress that, the lowest level that Bitcoin has been at. I said yearly low, I apologize. Correction low. This is the lowest low that we have seen. 25,236 is the level that we have set as a level of support over and over again. It's a level of resistance we set over 6 months ago. And right now, it is the level that we are testing. There's a live crash going on Bitcoin right now. And that wick dropping down to 25.1. That may be a nail. What kind of nail, you may ask? It's more like a nail in the coffin. Because again, before that one little scam wick went down there, and this, my friends, is why you don't put an entry that close. If you had to put an entry in a short trade there, you would have already lost on that. You wait a little bit longer for more confirmation. You get a little bit less risk, but a lot more reward because of the less risk. You're much more likely to actually get a profitable trade. Wow, it's almost like if you use a good plan, you're more likely to succeed. Anyway, Bitcoin setting this wick right here. This wick right here. Very significant. Very significant. And I'll keep an eye on that for a few minutes. Might go a few minutes over to see if there is a drop. Macedonia. It's pronounced Macedonia in English because of the C, but it's actually pronounced Macedonia. Is it pronounced Macedonia? That's how you're spelling that there. Or is it pronounced Macedonia? On Macedonia. I want to pronounce it the way that the Macedonians pronounce it. I prefer to do things that way. Except for my poor wife. My poor wife's name is actually pronounced Sada, but I call her Sarah. call her Sarah. That's the white way of saying it, but her name's actually Sada. All right, let's look at the chart here for just a minute, and keep a close weather eye on what's going on here. As I said, Bitcoin is in a very precarious spot, and is more than likely going to go through a major correction at some point in the next few weeks. In the next few days, not even just in the next few weeks, but relatively soon is the point. So that is a problem. As far as it's not a problem necessarily because you can make money on it, I just gave you a setup for the trade down, but it's definitely not ideal. It's Slavic pronunciation. Makes sense. Macedonia. As you can see, we're seeing a drop. Beautiful country from what I've heard. Never been there, but I'd love to go. Definitely love traveling. You guys, if you guys don't know, one of my favorite things to do in the entire world is traveling. I love seeing things and going places I've never been, or going places I haven't been many times. All right, and here comes that drop that we were talking about. Oh boy, no fun for any of you guys in long positions. By the way, if you're in a long position, first of all, now might be your time to liquidate that. But second of all, you don't want to go into a long position until you have confirmation. You don't want to go into a long position here until you have confirmation. You always want to protect yourself with a very tight stop loss. If you haven't done that, then I would encourage you to do that from now on. Make sure that you're being careful with the way you're setting up your trades. This is money that we're dealing with. Money is a form of a resource, and you only get so many resources in life. Once a resource is gone, you're not getting it back. It's called scarcity. It's the way the world works. Once you get a resource, once you lose a resource, or once you spend a resource, it is gone. Once you spend a minute on something, it is gone. Once you spend $1 on something, it is gone. You can re-earn that, but it's not coming back. All right. Here we go, guys. Oh, my goodness. We just had another new local low, which means that a drop is exceptionally likely at this point. We'll see how these trade setups that I gave you a little while ago fare. I'll give you a trade entry right around 24,840. Again, this is not exactly the trade setup that I would go with. It's close. The point of that trade setup was to give you the principle, not necessarily the exact number. If I'm doing technical analysis, I'm going to look there a lot more closely. Probably use even tighter entries, tighter exits, so I maximize that risk to reward ratio and use those tight stop losses. But as you can see, Bitcoin is just kind of sitting right here. This is one of those movements that's kind of slow, but it is still happening, and so we'll keep an eye on it. Now the moon boys are in damage control. I put in a short weeks ago when everybody thinks we're going to the moon. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the alts that outperform? Oh, wait a minute. We got movement. Yep. Here we go. Everybody was bullish. I've been bearish ever since we dropped below that massive uptrend. And this is why. The question now becomes whether Bitcoin is going to be able to set a major bottom here, or if it's going to end up going much further to the downside. One of the things of note is that Bitcoin is not moving exceptionally quickly right now. It's kind of just working its way through here. That's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it shows there's a lot of buy support down here. Bitcoin isn't just flash crashing through the floor. There's not a massive gap. There's a big buy wall. The reason that's a bad thing is, number one, it's getting through the buy wall, so the buy wall is going to disappear, right? It's a little bit like if you have a city wall and you have a barbarian horde attacking it. The first attack, the city wall is going to do the best. By the time the second attack comes around, they put a bunch of holes in the thing. So now, if we try and hold at $25,000 again, which we just hit 25K as support, if we try and hold at $25,000 again, all this support that it had between 25 and 25,236 is now gone. It's been broken. So Bitcoin has just taken a major step towards a massive crash. It's taken quite a few steps off a very short pier. And that edge is closer than we'd like. The problem is that Bitcoin right now is not, the problem is not only that Bitcoin is breaking through that support and breaking it, it's also this breaking the confidence. People are not going to want to put buy trades in down here anymore, unless Bitcoin goes to the upside by like $600 or $700. People are now thinking, okay, I'm going to put my entries, my buy trades down here. And that's not going to be enough to cause Bitcoin to be able to hold. The support has been broken in an irreconcilable way, at least down here on the minute chart. It's been broken, again, from a minute chart perspective, permanently. It could be restored in, a day from now, but that's, gosh, 6,000 candlesticks from now down on the minute chart. That's not something to even worry about. Over the next 100 to 200 candlesticks, which is what matters on the minute chart, because it's a minute chart movement we're having to analyze here, that support is irreconcilably destroyed. So now everything below 25K has to hold. The question now becomes, will it? And that's what I will look at here for a little bit longer. What are your thoughts on alts that outperform Bitcoin on alt-BTC pair like Kaspa, Injective, Render? I think that if you're able to find something that beats alpha, if you're able to find something that beats the market, then do it. But you're always going to have risks in that because Bitcoin is the standard. If you're trying to set up a long-term investment in cryptocurrency, you want the basis to be in alpha. You want the basis to be in the alpha cryptocurrency. Same way in the stock market, you want your base investment to be in the alpha of the investments over there, which is the S&P 500. You want the baseline to be in that. And if you're a trader, fine. Money to be made in trading. It's harder. And so make sure, no matter how skilled of a trader you are, you have an investment that profits in the long run sustainably. Bitcoin is that in the cryptocurrency market. The S&P is that in the stock market. Make sure you have that baseline investment. From there, any way that you're able to beat those markets, do it. Just understand it is going to be harder. So absolutely, if you can find something that consistently outperforms Bitcoin, great. But by the way, if something consistently outperforms Bitcoin, eventually it will catch up to Bitcoin and it will stop outperforming Bitcoin, because so long as Bitcoin remains top dog, you can't outperform Bitcoin forever, or else you would overtake Bitcoin. So you have to think about the concept like, is Kaspa or is Render, or are these different cryptocurrencies actually able to outperform Bitcoin forever? Because if they did, they would end up becoming bigger than Bitcoin. So you wouldn't want to bet on outperforming Bitcoin in a certain asset for 20 years. You'd want to bet on outperforming Bitcoin in a certain asset for maybe a year or two. And then you find another asset that for that period of a year or two outperforms Bitcoin. And you have to rotate that. If you're looking for something that outperforms a market, then you need to rotate in and out of different investments much quicker, because it's not going to outperform the market forever. Eventually, it'll become bigger than the market. And none of the projects that you listed have any chance whatsoever of becoming larger than Bitcoin. I'm not saying they're bad projects. I'm not saying they're good projects. I'm just saying nothing in cryptocurrency, in my opinion, has any hope of becoming bigger than Bitcoin right now for at least 2 decades. It's a way, 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 way far out into the future if that ever happens. So yes, if you can beat the market, by all means. That's what trading is. Trading is beating the market. That's your goal. Make more money with trading than you could have made by just putting the money in Bitcoin and holding it. Or even if you want to say by putting it in the stock market and holding it, if you're trading in the stock market. But the fact of the matter is that's harder than it looks. It can be done. You should try. It'll make you a better investor. But you do have to understand the risk that comes along with that. All right, guys. I do appreciate all of you tuning in. We went a few minutes over to see if there'd be a drop. One did not happen, but if one does, then you will be seeing a piece of content from me more than likely today on that. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Make sure to sign up for Lux Algo if you've not already. It did predict this entire movement. By the way, if you guys don't know, Lux Algo did call this whole movement like a day before it happened with Bitcoin dropping. You can see that right here. Sell signal came in, and in case you're wondering, oh, was there a replay on that? No. Go ahead, look. You can see right here, sell signal came in. Next candlestick, we dropped it massively. Hopefully you can see that. You can replay that for yourself if you want. I'll do it for you. Look, right here. Sell signal shows up. Bitcoin jumps off a cliff. Lux Algo called this. It called it very, very well. If you guys don't already have Lux Algo, you should get it. You can use coupon code JEBB, J-E-B-B, 30 for 30% off at checkout. Use that with the annual plan. You'll be saving yourself $40 a month or nearly $500. That's a great savings. It's a great indicator for that much money. Great indicator for $68 a month. Definitely a great indicator for $28 a month. It's going to help you in your trading. Make one profitable trade. You're probably going to make more money on that trade than what it cost to buy Lux Algo, so it's definitely worth your time. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned for more content, more announcements that are coming that I think you guys are going to really love. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.